Hi, you're watching the 100 in 100, where we review 100 VR games in 100 days. In our VR gear game reviews, we make sure that we cover some very important criteria so that you have the best information before you make a decision to download or buy a VR title. Today, we're talking about Surgeon Simulator, one of the best non-game games that we have played so far, surely because of the entertainment value of playing this game. We wouldn't categorize this as a full game, however, it is fun and it is playful, and when you're done, you should be confident enough to go and do your own heart transplant surgery on any one of your friends who's willing to participate. The first area we want to cover is how to get up and running with Surgeon Simulator. This game is free and it's available on all of the VR stores out there, and it's very easy to download and start playing. The download file is about 250 megabytes, and it takes a mere few seconds if your internet is relatively fast to get it onto your computer. It took us longer to find the folder it was installed in than it took for the file to actually download. So to give you an idea, it doesn't take a long time at all to install the game. Once you launch the game, there isn't much of a menu or any options that you need to review or select. You find yourself standing over a patient who has already been put to sleep and is ready to have their heart transplanted. This version of Surgeon Simulator is Surgeon Simulator Meet the Medic. There are other versions of Surgeon Simulator that are on the Steam store that are compatible with just a regular desktop. It's available on Windows and Mac. This one is a VR-based one, and the concept is the same. Your job as a surgeon is to replace organs that have malfunctioned and save the patient's life. Although the methods that you use aren't necessarily generally accepted best practices in medicine. The player perspective in this game is first person, and you are in the position of a surgeon ready to perform surgery. You are able to see your hands, and you're able to see the tools that your hands are holding, and you're able to manipulate your environment using your hands. As you reach out and interact with the patient or with the tools or with the extra body organs that are in the refrigerator or inside of the patient, you are able to hear the sounds of those items responding to your touch or your grab or your throw. The theme or the story of this game is basically saving the life of the patient. Your job as a surgeon is to save the life of the patient, and we failed a lot before we figured out how to save the patient. The game has 3 different ways that you can interact with the environment. The first way is you can pull the trigger to grab an object, and you can hold it in your hand, and if you release the trigger, it will drop. You're also able to, if your controllers have them, use the grip buttons to pick up the tools that you're using. Same exact result. And your hands, as they move around in the space, they bump into things, and you can open, let's say, the refrigerator or pull out a rib cage if you're looking to do that. But the game is very simple as far as controls go. The music and sound of this game was actually done quite well. It's very playful and helpful at the same time. The music has a nice, relaxing feel to it until time starts to get toward the end. As time approaches 0, the music becomes more intense. That indicates to you that time's about to run out and your patient's about to die and flatline on the table. The other audio experiences inside of the game were quite fun. You can hear the organs interact with each other, a slushing type sound, a splatting if you throw a liver or a lung across the room. And you can hear the heart beating when you are replacing it inside of the patient. All of these things add for quite an impressive and at least enjoyable audio experience for the sound and the music of the game. Player movement in this game is very simple and it's basic. It's designed for a standing experience, and the only movement that you can do is rotating your body to reach over into the tool tray or into the refrigerator to grab various tools or body organs that need to be replaced. You can also lean forward if you need to look inside of the patient's open abdominal cavity to look for the missing pieces of perhaps a rib cage that you broke. But other than that, player movement is very limited to just rotating around your body and leaning forward if you need to get a closer look of something. All right, Kinetosis, one of the most important aspects of any VR title. This game does a very good job, and most standing experiences have the potential of doing a very good job as long as your environment isn't moving around you while you're standing still. In this game, the room stands just as still as you are, and you do not feel any sense of motion sickness while you're playing this title, which we love not getting motion sick. Now, the environment and the immersion of this game is quite interesting to talk about. The character does not look real that's on the table. The interactions that you have with it do not represent reality, although we don't know, we're not surgeons, we've never done a heart transplant, but based on our interaction with the game, it does not represent reality at all. And because we were mirroring our experience and so the team could see what we were playing together, we couldn't stop laughing. And as a result, we removed our headphones while playing the game in VR so that we could talk to the people outside of VR as we laughed about how funny it was to be playing in this game. So we didn't feel totally immersed, but we were absolutely entertained. This game doesn't really score very high on the immersion, but it does score well on the entertainment value. At least it was a very funny game to play with friends. All right, so let's go through the scoring for this game. The theme and the story of this game, there wasn't much to it. There was a single level. It was only 10 minutes long. It was entertaining because it was funny. We're giving this game a 4 out of 10 for theme and story. The controls for this game were very simple, and we wish they were a little bit more involved. There is a lot of potential here for additional inputs. There's a lot of buttons on VR controllers, and there's a lot of things that you can do in VR, and this game didn't take advantage of any of them. It was a simple grab or release. And so this game, we are ranking it a 1 out of 10 for controls. Music and sound, we are giving Surgeon Simulator a 6 out of 10 because of the realism that we heard, or the simulated animated realism that we heard from interacting with our dying patient, as well as the music as it responded to our performance as surgeons. So Surgeon Simulator gets a 6 out of 10 for music and sound. All right, player movement. As far as standalone games go, this game executes it perfectly. We're giving Surgeon Simulator a 5 out of 10 for player movement. There isn't movement, but when you have a standing title where you're only able to move around your axis, it actually was very well done as you interacted with the environment around you. So moving about by reaching out and interacting with the tools and the body, 5 out of 10 for player movement. All right, the score for Kinetosis or motion sickness, this game gets a 9 out of 10. Very little deduction there. The game, you're not moving, it's a standing title, it's executed very well, and you do not feel sick at all when you play this game. So a 9 out of 10 for motion sickness on Surgeon Simulator. For environment and immersion, we are giving Surgeon Simulator a 3 out of 10 score. You don't really feel like you're in the operating room. The tools aren't realistic. The patient is not realistic. It's clearly an animated, funny gag joke of a VR experience. We did have a good time. But this title doesn't really approach the level of environment and immersion that some of the more premier titles that we do review achieve. And so we're giving this Surgeon Simulator game a 3 out of 10 for environment and immersion. Overall, we had a really good time playing this game. We played it probably longer than we should have, but we had a lot of fun playing Surgeon Simulator Meet the Medic. We couldn't stop laughing and telling our surgeon friends and relatives that we're ready to go into the OR and do our own heart transplants after only 30 minutes of simulating surgery. The game is a lot of fun. We highly recommend you download it. However, the overall score, being fair to all the other very well done VR titles, we're giving Surgeon Simulator a 4.6 out of 10 as far as VR game quality goes. But it is definitely worth trying, so go download it and check it out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you are notified when we release another VR game review in our 100 VR games in 100 days tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.